What is your general assessment of Kenya Kwanza regime and President Ruto's performance 1 year into office? Of course, this is not the first time Kenyans are being asked this question, because just a month ago, there were opinion polls that were conducted when William Ruto attained 1 year into office ever since he and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua took oath of office. And most Kenyans, most of the opinion polls rated him at between D and a C. The reason why this question has come up again is because William Ruto, yesterday while attending a church service, rated himself, taking cognizance of the fact that we are facing challenges, and he bragged that Kenyans are very lucky to have a president such as he at times when we are facing such difficulties. And this is exactly what William Ruto said. That I am happy that I am the president of Kenya when things are tough, because when they are, it needs someone like me to lead. If it was someone else, Kenya would have already sunk. So that is William Ruto telling us that he believes we are facing a myriad of challenges. But in the middle of the challenges, he's saying that he's very happy to be the captain amidst all the wave and the storm. And he's saying that he believes that if Kenya was in the hands of someone else, and I believe if the someone else is talking about is Raila Amolo Odinga, because they were the two major competitors in the last election. I looked at the statement, at the sentiments, and I laughed. The reason I laughed is because you don't need to take the bragging right. You don't need to praise yourself. The people you are leading should be in a position to judge you. The people you render services to. The people who elected you to power. And I wonder why William Ruto is coming up with such a discussion, because if you ask me, I think he's suffering from a guilty conscience. Because why would someone just wake up and start telling people that I think I'm the best? If it was in the hands of someone, things would have gone haywire. Now, the statements elicited a lot of debate. And one person who did not spare William Ruto is Pauline Njoroge. And this is exactly what Pauline Njoroge said in the midst of all this. Pauline Njoroge took to her Twitter handle and said, "Sasa huyu si anyamaze tu." If he was president during COVID-19, the country could have collapsed. He has made life so tough for Kenyans through punitive taxes, his inability to stabilize the shilling, his inability to restore confidence in the market, corruption in his government, etc. Yet, he is here bragging how he is happy to be the president at such a time. And then, when Pauline Njoroge posted the sentiments, very many people reacted. Those who support Kenya Kwanza were up in arms with her, and they were saying, "Oh, Pauline, you are bitter because you know Uhuru and his friend Raila was defeated." But the Azimio adherents supported Pauline Njoroge. So while reacting to the sentiments, one of the people who could not be ignored is the former Nandi Hills Member of Parliament, Alfred Keter. He reacted to the sentiments of Pauline Njoroge, and he said, "He is the worst president since independence, and I hope there will be no other like him in future. The tragedy is that he is happening during our generation." And I looked at those statements and I thought, how do you rate yourself, the president? How do you rate? Because if you present this question, depending on your tribal affiliation, depending on your political affiliation, people will give different judgments. But without feelings, without looking at your tribe, without looking at your political affiliation, if you gauge very carefully with a fine-tooth comb the performance of William Ruto, I can assure you without a shadow of doubt that he has been found wanting. And I want to give you just 3 or 4 reasons why I believe that the president has failed, and if he doesn't make a complete paradigm shift the way he does his things, then no matter how much he praises himself, Kenya will continue to sink. It's very funny that he thinks Kenya has not sunk, but if you ask me, if Kenya has not, then we are at the blink and we are about to sink. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time, and click the notification bell. This will allow YouTube to notify you of our videos. You can also like and share our videos. And to those who support us, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much. I'm humbled to have you as part of our team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for you to understand the performance of anybody in an organization, in a company, in an institution, you look at the policies, the parameters, or the target. All those who work in offices, salesmen, there is always a target. And the targets have got timelines, so that there are people who surpass their targets, those who meet the targets, those who perform averagely, and those who just fail miserably. William Ruto promised the nation that within 100 days after taking oath of office, the cost of living will drastically go down. It didn't end there. They took that opportunity to tell Kenyans that the author and the finisher of our economic and political problems were the duo Raila Odinga and his son-shaped brother Uhuru Kenyatta. They even claimed that William Ruto had been pushed to the periphery and Raila assumed the position of Uhuru's advisor. And with that, the hustler nation swallowed their lie. And they divided the country in the middle, that we had a dynasty and hustlers. And they said that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta could not understand the plight of Kenyans because they were born and brought in bread and butter. That they had never tasted hunger, they have never tasted the pangs of hunger, they don't know what poverty is. And they told people that William Ruto is a hustler who started as a chicken seller, and now he has risen up to the level of a deputy president. And with this, they told Kenyans that this gives young people hope that no matter your background, you can rise to any level. Yani, dreams are valid, in the words of Lupita Nyong'o. 1 year down the line, the cost of living has worsened because the regime decided to remove all the subsidies on fuel, on unga, on electricity, on school fees, and this has worsened the situation. They have imposed punitive taxes, including an 8% VAT that has now gone up to 16% on fuel products. And you will understand that whenever you increase taxes on fuel products, then every other product changes. Transport, production, everything. And things are very tough, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you support Kenya Kwanza or not, it doesn't matter. You feel it, but you fear saying it, that the cost of living is just too tough. They blamed the previous regime, and they continue to blame Uhuru Kenyatta for their predicaments, instead of just owning up and saying that we are trying, but things are getting tougher. This regime ignored the plight of Kenyans, ignored the thoughts and the feelings of Kenyans. Whenever Kenyans go and give their views in public participation, like it happened when they wanted to pass the Finance Bill 2023, we were completely ignored. And instead, our president listens to the colonial masters. He listens to the Western powers, the USA, the UK, and the NATO group. This is why when America wanted freedom for the LGBTQ community, same-sex association, the lesbians and gay, it was passed through the Supreme Court that they now have their level of freedom. This is something that William Ruto had really spoken against, because he says he's a man of God, and they say their win was given by God. They have introduced, and it was passed in our courts, that now we will consume GMO, genetically modified organisms, that Uhuru had banned for the 10 years that he was in power. And we have listened to the IMF so much that we have introduced these taxes to please them. We have removed the subsidies to please them. We want to go to Haiti and take 1,000 policemen there because we want to please the USA. And with this, I believe that William Ruto has failed, because he is like a father to the nation. He is a symbol of national unity, yet he listens to foreigners more than he listens to us. And to me, I think this is wanting. He presides over divisive politics in his appointments, the way he distributes the national cake. He has favored two communities, the Mount Kenya and Rift Valley. And when his deputy comes up and speaks about this politics of shareholders, he pretends that he does not like it. He tells Rigathi Gachagua that it is primitive. It did start today. This is something that Rigathi Gachagua has always said over and over again, even in churches, and the bishops and the congregation and the president have always applauded him for saying this. But now that he's busy looking for votes for 2027, he's pretending that he does not want it. Our president is a dictator and is very undemocratic. He swore to defend our constitution, but our constitution there is an attempt to rape our constitution. The dictatorship came out very clearly. It was manifested during the demonstrations. It is entrenched in the constitution that whenever people are angered, they are supposed to express their displeasure on the streets in accordance with the law. But our president believes that it is either his way or the highway. People were killed, people were maimed, people were being removed from their houses and being beaten. And on this, I believe that he has really failed miserably. He has refused to open the server so that people can clear the air on who really won our election. And when you ask, you meet the full brutal force of the law, because the police will be up in arm with you. The last one, why I believe that our president should do more than what he's doing, and I believe is wanting in this kind of leadership, he believes that Kenyans are gullible. Our president believes that we are people who can be deceived anyhow. He will tell you, I'll give you this. When the time passes, they will change goalposts. And he believes that we can do nothing. He believes that we will always listen to his rhetorics. And when you push them so much, they will tell you it is Uhuru Kenyatta that has really made it a stumbling block for them to achieve what they want. He talked that they would never borrow money again. And I remember Rigiji saying that when you realize that you are in a hole, you stop digging. But recently he has been in US and he signed deals with the IMF. He was in China just a few days ago, begging for more loans to complete the SGR. And it tells you that he's reneged on those promises. The other day, he was pulling down, as police stood by, the Mavoko structures. But I remember very well during the campaigns he had said that there should be a humane way of resolving such problems instead of demolishing houses that someone has used a lot of money to build. And I know there is a discussion about this. The land cartels in the Ministry of Lands, those who ratify the title deeds and the certificates before someone builds. But William Ruto had said that he would look into all of this, bring all the stakeholders, and bring everyone to book. But recently, he reneged on the same promises. Ladies and gentlemen, with all these facts, whether you are supporting Kenya Kwanza, whether you are supporting Azimio, our regime, this regime, has failed miserably, and there is no euphemism about it. If he doesn't do something, he believes that Kenya has not sunk. We are on our way to sinking, politically, economically, socially, in every way. I leave you to judge for yourself.